Hi everybody, I'm Glenn,
I'm Xander.
and together we are Fun King 3D. And this is now the step 3, right? Step 3 of building the Prusa Research i3 Mk2s. Stick with us. All right, so step 3 is the x-axis assembly. This is it's a moderate difficulty. It's only 19 steps. 30 minutes is what they claim. It'll take us a little longer because we're on video, but if you watched our first part, which was actually step 2, step 2 is the first one. Step 1 was the introduction, but if you watched the last part, we did a lot of back and forth with the manual to the screen and stuff. I think after some feedback, we're going to minimize that, only because you can pull the manual up yourself. Real quick, you see it's right here. It's at manual.prusa3d.com/guide/3 point + x. Oh, that's this. Sorry. So just go to guide, and you'll here we take it back. It's your original Prusa i3 Mk2. You can see the URL right there. So you can pull it up on your screen. That way we can save a bunch of time of having to flip back and forth, and read new stuff, which isn't really all that helpful, being that you can read it yourself. We have our bag 3. If you want to go ahead and pour that out, we have our bag 3 of bright orange printed parts. This step claims the only 2 tools that you need is a 2.5-inch Allen key and the pliers. So that should be good. That over there out of the way. I have my lubricant. I have some paper towel. I guess it's time to get rolling. So
That middle piece kind of looks like a face, kind of.
it does. It's actually been noted by other people that it looks like an angry
Robot.
Aztec face, like an Aztec warrior. All right, so we have our three printed parts. Yeah, come in there. Ooga chaka, ooga chaka. I like that this camera picks up the color so much better, because this camera, it looks all washed out, and this is really a great orange. I really thought it was kind of a gross orange before I seen it in real life, so I'm pleased. All right, so if you want to go ahead and kind of organize this, get all the bearings up by itself. That's a lot of bearings. Ooh, that's a lot of bearings. And then flatten this out so that you have access to the thank you part picker number 34 for this bag of hardware. And then if you want, you can just pour that out on top of there. All right, so these are our 3D printed parts. The rods, this particular step requires the longest rods. Which, as you can see, are definitely these two. Those will go back in the tube. Okay, and sorry, I had a cough there. All right, so this step is telling us to put the rods or the bearings onto the rods. So let's go ahead and open all of these. Are these the same indestructible bags? Yes. So I'll cut these. Maybe you want to take these out of the bag. Guess we could have done this ahead of time and not made these people watch this.
Hey, Joey, what are you doing? Watching this guy get break bags.
Looks like I cut bags with a razor knife.
Mhm.
Well, little Billy, if you're careful and you're lucky, you might get to watch me cut my finger. All right, so set these rods off to the side. The first thing I'm gonna do is take the bearings and I'm gonna put some lubricant in the bearings. Try to be a little bit more careful than I was with the other ones. I had put a lot of lubricant in those other ones. So, but all I did was a little spray everywhere that there's a row of ball bearings. And then we're going to very carefully slide those on to the shaft. Give it a little workout just like in the first step.
Which is step 2?
Which was step 2. The y-axis. So if you didn't watch that video, go ahead and go back and watch that if you need it. At least watch it for the highlight reel. All right, if you'll throw all those in the garbage.
And this one?
Yeah. Or just throw it down on the floor. It's fine. It's fine. We'll get it at the end. Don't worry about it.
Okay, then I'll just shove everything on the wheel.
It's fine as long as you're willing to pick it up after.
No.
My studio space is also my workspace. I work from home. So come Monday, the desk always has to be cleaned up. Bearings are so nice. They're loud, but they're nice. And again, if you didn't catch it, I'm just using a 3-in-1 silicone lubricant. I like silicone. I don't know if you've ever used a plumbing silicone lubricant for putting faucets together, but you get that stuff on your hands and it just doesn't go away.
Meanwhile, little Billy does it. Walk it up.
Now you're infatuated with little Billy. There is actually no little Billy. I mean, I'm sure out there somewhere there's a little Billy, but little Billy is a figment of my imagination. All right, I'm just gonna wipe the excess off of that rod. All right, so now the bearings are prepped. I think somebody's a little tired. Why is little Billy so funny to you? Little Billy fell off his bike one time, busted his head wide open. Xander thought that was so funny. Which, if you were just listening, that's impossible. Little Billy doesn't exist. Okay, so that is the end of step 3. Step 4 is preparing the printed parts. So we are going to take this guy right here, and we are going to press a bearing down in there. Man, I might have already done that wrong. No. Yeah, it's twisted the wrong way.
Can you get it out?
Yeah.
You might have to print a yellow piece for that.
I'm gonna mute the mic for a second. I didn't actually end up banging on anything. He's just being a goofball over there. All right, so inside the bearing, there's 3 rows of ball bearings. They want you to make sure that you have one row in line with here, and I put it centered here. So you gotta bring it in. Make sure that it's in there like that, and then you can push it in. My bad, sorry for that. We're gonna do the same thing here. And if you didn't catch the way I got those out, I just pushed them out with a screwdriver. It wasn't terrible. I thought I was gonna have to kind of pound it out. That's why I muted it, but same thing here.
It's so loud.
It was excruciating. Yeah, these parts are ABS plastic. We don't have any ABS plastic, so if I had to print a new part, I'd be in trouble.
No.
I do eventually want to print all of this in yellow.
Yeah.
Nothing against you, Joseph, but orange is your thing, not my thing. So, Fun King is black and yellow.
Black and yellow, black and yellow.
Chances are the printer will end up being black and yellow in the long run. Okay, back to it.
We'll have to rebuild the printer if we want to do that.
Yes, we would. All right, so we're going to need 2 of these square nuts and 2 of the M3x10s.
Oops. This is square nut.
Square nut? Because it's a square.
So.
All right, so you're gonna put one of those square nuts in that hole right there.
We're not in the hole.
And then take one of your M3x10s.
Speaking gibberish to me.
M3x10 screw.
This?
I told you to get 2 square nuts and 2 M3x10 screws. You have the picture in front of you.
These?
I don't know, are they? Line them up on the picture.
Yes.
All right. So now put it in that top. Nope, not that one. Top one. Because that's where you put the nut. Now it says avoid over tightening the screws, but I can't really imagine that these screws need to be tight at all. They're not doing anything yet. So I just put it in enough to grab the nut. All right, so square nut in that hole.
Square nut in the hole.
And then you can put do like I showed you, grab the shaft. There you go. All right, that's good. Just grabbing the nut. All right, so they're in there. The nut went into there. Both sides. The screws are in there, and it's they're loose. They're just enough to hold the. All right, so now we're going to take one of the rods and we're going to put 2 bearings on there. And then we're going to take the other rod
and put 2 bearings
and put 1 bearing on there.
No.
They have to be the same but different. Separate but equal. Okay, so ensure the correct orientation of the parts and rods. The rod with 2 bearings must be on the side with the nut trap. Well, technically, the rod is on both sides. Insert the rods very carefully. Do not tilt the rods too much. Okay, so the drawing is showing this guy, and these 2. I don't understand that ensuring the orientation of the parts and the rods. The rod with 2 bearings must be on the side with the nut trap. I guess what they're saying is that it has to be at the top. I mean, I don't, because if they're talking about what we just did on this side, they can't both be on this side. So, but that went in there very nicely. That was a little rougher, but went in there nicely anyway. But what I didn't think about, let's put this one in here. And put that on. Get both of them lined up, okay, and then push it on.
It's now complete. This is the printer.
Well, it's the x-axis. It's the part that carries side to side, and then this goes up and down.
This makes it print.
This is just it right here. You just plug this into the wall, and
Billy does it. It's not working.
Okay, so preparing the X end idler. This is step number 7. We need one M3 by 18 screw.
This thing.
Are you sure? Did you line it up on the picture? Okay. We need one bearing housing, which would be this guy right here.
Daddy.
We need one M3NN nylon nut. That'd be that one.
Yeah. It's the only nut there. So.
And apparently there's no washers. And we need to secure it in position using a M3 by 18 screw. Let's see if it gives us a better picture. Okay, so that goes inside. That goes inside this end right here. Let's come over here to this camera. It's going to go in here. So we're going to take those bearings slamming. Okay, so one side has a hub, the other side is smooth. They say that it doesn't matter that they're the same both sides. And that drops right on through there. So this is going to be a fun little challenge. We're going to come in like this. And then we will put the screw down through there and we'll just kind of wiggle it around until we catch at the bearing. And then you want to put that nut on the back side there. You had it. Yep, just like that.
Like this?
Yep. Yeah, his question was because, you know, a lock nut is rounded on the front side and flat on the back side, and it goes flat side to the plastic. No, you don't use that for that. Get it threaded on there. You gotta at least get it started. Gotta use your fingers. Use the phalanges.
I'm not good with using flanges.
Alright, now you can take that Allen key and you can tighten it up just a little bit. As they say, you tighten it, but the wheel has to rotate freely. Are you happy with that? See what you got, take it out of there. Alright, the wheel still rotates. I don't know if that's, that's tight enough though. Let me see that. You want to make sure that the threads of the screw get to at least the nylon part or it defeats the purpose of it being a lock nut. And that still rotates fine. Okay. So that is the end of step 7. We are rolling on to step 8, where we are going to prepare the X cartridge.
The face.
Sorry, the X carriage. Yes, yes. I can't fight this. Sorry.
What?
It's a song. All right, so we need 6 zip ties.
One. Two.
Shorter. Do they come with 2 different sizes there? Is there more than one size zip tie here?
There's only one size.
No, these are all the same. Okay. So, yes, 6 of those.
Got 6 of them.
Okay, so let's turn this down so you can see. Looking at this guy like this, you see there's 4 holes and 4 holes, and these are actually all the way through. You just poke that zip tie in there and run it all the way through just like that. So go ahead and do the 3 more there. you got to work it in there. It's not going to just magically go. You got to grab it down here and push it through.
Whoa. Face is magical.
Well, the design is actually pretty cool. The fact that they made channels all the way through there for the zip tie.
Take this, Tiki Man.
Okay, and then there's actually two more, and it says take the remaining two zip ties from the right side, from the right, and slide them halfway in the slots. See blue arrow. Okay, so we got to change pictures. So here's what they're talking about. There's slots right here. Let's see if the picture looks like. Yep, that's exactly.
Whoa. Magic.
Now he looks like an angry Aztec guy with like really bad eyebrows.
Teeth.
All right, so that is the end of step 8, preparing the X carriage. And now in step 9, we are going to place the X carriage. It is important that you do not lay it like this. It does not go on like this. It goes on like this. So you're looking at the back side of it, and you're going to bring it over.
Billy's asking his monitor, how do you undo it?
Alright, so we're going to work that bearing in like that. Let's go to this camera so you can see a little bit better. That a little closer over the top. Alright, so we have the one bearing in the bottom, and if I'm not mistaken, that should snap in there. There it goes. And then the top two just kind of fit down in there. There is actually a groove that it fits into, so make sure you get it all the way down in there. Now we're just gonna.
Oh, he has metal eyebrows. Eyebrows with metal.
And snug them down. Don't make them overly tight yet because we have to position them. But go ahead and get them in there and snug them down. Snug them down.
Like that?
Yeah, that's fine. You can go a little tighter than that, but. And then
he's eating. He's eating bearings.
Zip tie orientation is very important, that you follow the instructions as far as where the zip ties go, what direction they go. Not every time, but a lot of these have been, a lot of consideration has been taken as far as clearance on things. So these top ones, we want to flip them all the way up flat like this, and then you're gonna snug them. Yeah, these aren't really easy to tighten. All right, let me check the orientation of the bottoms because I'm not sure. All right, those actually got to make sure that they're pushed this way against this piece.
It has very bad eyebrows.
Okay, and then I'm going to take my flush cutters and I'm going to nip those off. Put those in the garbage. Yeah, I gave the guy a haircut.
What?
I gave him a haircut. This one too.
Poor dude.
Where'd it go? My hands are all greasy from that silicone. Having a hard time handling anything.
You said silicone will come off.
No, plumbing silicone doesn't come off.
Oh.
Alright, so
Little Billy, you have a chance.
flip it over so that you guys can see it the right way. That's the way it is. You got to make sure that the bearings are down, seated down fully in there, and it should just rock and roll fantastically. Alright, so that is, I'm sorry, step 11 was cutting off the excess zip ties. I didn't realize that it had its own whole step, but that was step 11. So we are going to now roll into step 12. And for the record, step 11 does show you the orientation of the zip ties to make sure that you get them in the right spot. Step 12 is assembling the X motor. I don't have the X motor, I have to go get it. Okay, and if you didn't know, which you should by this point because you should have followed the first video, but the motors are labeled, they're X-axis. And I think that has the most to do with the wire cable lengths and stuff. So this guy, quick look here, wire down. Wire down. All right, so this is the bottom. It goes like this in real life. So you want the wire coming down this way. So your motor will be like this. And this is something that the ANET didn't do that they should have. And somebody's designed a new piece for it. But this cutout right here, there's no way to get to the grub screws on the ANET. All right, so we need 3 of the M318s. These guys. Go ahead and take that.
Oh. Can I start?
Yes, sir. As long as it's lined up with the hole, we might have to move it around a little bit. Hang on. Feel like it's grabbing? Oh yeah. Okay, not too tight because you gotta get 2 more in there. Always put them all in before you start to tighten them up. So.
So this.
Yep. It's the 18s.
The big ones?
Yeah. Yeah, you're getting the hang of that now. Much easier just to spin it by the shaft than trying to turn the handle until you want to get some torque on it. And once again, if you don't own a set of these T-handle Allen keys, I mean, not only are they faster, but because of the length of the shaft, when you're torquing stuff down, the shaft twists and it takes some of the grunt. Helps you not strip stuff out. Alright, so that's the end of that. So there we got the motor on. I guess we can go ahead and tighten that up. And you don't want to over tighten it because you'll pull the screws right through the plastic. I won't say that, you know, plastic versus metal, that the plastic or the metal will always win, but
plastic wins.
Alright, so that's that. We are now rolling on to step 13.
Woo! Almost done with this.
That's putting the motor pulley on. Alright, so now if you watch the last the step 2 build of the Y-axis, I had mentioned that sometimes these go the opposite way that you would think. So this one doesn't go this way like the other one did. It actually goes upside down, opposite the way you'd think that it goes. So, and they said that we only needed a 2.5-inch Allen key. This takes a 2.
Billy's probably yelling at his monitor. You put it on! You put it...
Don't put it on that way!
You put it on the thing like that. So I accidentally actually put it on.
All right, so you got to find the
Take it
flat
off.
spot in the motor on the shaft, and you tighten one of the grub screws down. And I'm not going to tighten the other one yet. There's two. One just goes to the shaft, the other one goes to the flat part. But I just put a little bit of twist on there just to keep it on for right now, because we got to get a belt through there. And actually looking in down like this, you can kind of tell where it needs to be alignment wise. So no, that snap was just the grub screw breaking loose. Not a big deal. All right, so let's see if we can get you a view. Get you a view down that. So you can see down through the plastic, and you can kind of tell where that pulley is supposed to line up. And not to say that you won't have to do some fine-tune adjustment, but that looks pretty good to me.
Mm-hmm.
So, all right. Go on now over to step 14, which requires
The white thing.
the magic 2345 sub box. And that
You really like that.
it's like sub, instead of what's up, it's sub. If you were old enough to have ever watched Night at the Roxbury, you'd understand.
What?
I don't know, would the Night at the Roxbury be inappropriate for my 11-year-old? As I think about it, yes.
Okay.
Oh, he's 10, he's almost 11. But now that I think about it, yes, it would be inappropriate for him to watch. So, all right.
Screw
That switch goes on this bottom.
Bottom.
It goes into these two holes right here. The switch itself, the head of the switch is a large flat with a little tiny nub for the button, and that button goes towards the bearing side. So when you put it on, bearing or nub to the bearing. All right, so now take those two short screws and also the little Allen key that they didn't tell us that we were going to need.
Which one? This one?
This one. Don't bump the table.
Then
Keep spinning. I feel like it's grabbing. No. I have to put my Superman glasses on. All right. Is that working for you? All right, go ahead. I don't think that's the right. Oh, you know what? That's not the right size,
no,
is
this
it?
is probably
It
just
takes this little tiny one that we didn't have.
okay.
Yeah, there you go. Gotta make sure you keep it nice and straight so you're not putting undue stress on the screw, and otherwise the screw starts to waller back and forth and it bores the hole out. Alright, if you want to get the other one now, go ahead and put that other one in. Get the hole,
Can't
yeah.
I do it like
Yes, you can. Gotta get it to catch first though. So it means that you might have to push down on it while you're turning it to get the threads to cut. Because all you're doing is running a screw into a printed hole that doesn't have any threads in it. Okay. Alright, then you can change your tool the other way. Just don't overrun it, just run it down close and then we'll fine tune it in. You got to make sure you keep it straight, keep it horizontal. Why are you heavy mouth breathing? Is this hard exercise for you? He's tired. I don't think he slept so good last night. Leaving for camp tomorrow. These are really kind of crappy Allen keys.
Yes. No offense, Prusa.
Offense person. Buy better Allen keys. Yeah, it's not grabbing. I don't know if that's the right size. It's definitely too big, but I think this one's too small.
What about this one? Oh, this would be.
I just threw that in my lap. All right, let's we'll recess here, guys, while we get the whole bag of one keys that I can't open because my hands are greasy. Let's see if this fits a little better. Oh, that one's even smaller. And that's too big, so it is that size. I mean, did we already wear that Allen key out? Oh, another Allen key laying here, is there?
Oop, it went into the fire.
Yeah, this isn't giving me warm and fuzzies here. Let me see if by chance. Alright, stop doing that before you bang it on the table and blow some of these eardrums out. It just so happens that I have a set of Allen keys.
Woo! Yeah!
I also have my Hannibal Lecter mask. I can wear that while filming.
Yes, wear it. You got to wear it.
I might do that around Halloween time. I'll wear that during one of our videos.
And I'll be dead.
Alright, I'm gonna mute for just a second while I pour these. Alright, so that's all I got is too big and too small. That doesn't make sense unless we've already
Oh, my mommy.
we already boogered those screws up too much.
Wait, at the picture it looks like it's. Looks like.
Don't tighten the screw and stop completely. We'll get to that later. Okay.
Oh,
Well,
I'm a genius.
Either which way, the screw does, or the tool doesn't fit those screws, so I don't know. We'll have to figure it out. Might have to do it with the pliers. Just a quick second here to package all this back up and meet you so I don't make too much noise. Alright. This saves me from having to go in and edit the loud sounds out later. I don't want anybody watching with headphones to get deafened. Alright, so it does say to leave those screws somewhat loose, but I don't know why that wasn't grabbing anymore, but do not use cable colors to set the correct orientation. Use the button on it. Again, the little button goes towards the bearing side. Alright, before tightening the screws, push the end stop all the way towards the X carriage as shown in the picture. Tighten the screws. So you do tighten the screws down. They're just telling us to push this all the way forward this way before we tighten them down. I just don't know. It's just not grabbing that screw at all. Like the head of the screw is stripped out. Here comes the rain again.
I hope it doesn't rain tomorrow.
Wasn't supposed to rain at all this weekend. Those weathercasters, they never know. Yeah, I don't like this. I don't like this at all. Just don't understand why I don't have an Allen key that fits that properly. Way too big or way too small.
No, just right.
I don't know if these are going to be strong enough to cut this off. No, they're not. Yeah, here, let me give you a quick view of what's going on over here. That screw is supposed to go all the way down. They just want to make sure you push that switch all the way to the other side. All right, so we're almost there. We're just get a little tighter. And I'm pushing with my fingers this way at the same time that I'm holding this. Make sure that it is where they want it to be.
The only supplies we have now is your zip ties.
So there you go. There's a nice, if you can see, there's a nice little gap in between there, so nothing's hitting. You're just catching the switch. Go team. You know, they included a screwdriver. I haven't used it yet, but take a little quick little sip of tasty beverage.
All we have now is zip ties.
All right, so step 16 is that end stop check, which is what we just did. We just made sure. Good enough. We're going to roll on to step 17, cable management, which they are showing to use a zip tie to secure the X end stop cable, which is this guy here, down and right to the X motor wires, and they say as close to the X motor as possible. This is a case where it doesn't really matter the orientation of the zip tie. So I want my wires, if I can hook you by camera here. Ooh, everybody going for a ride. I don't want these wires to pull tight like this. I kind of want them out and around. So I'm gonna kind of form them with my finger, and then we're gonna bring that zip tie up to the motor. Pulled it tight by my fingers and clipped it off. All right, so that's that. That's the end of 17. 18 is cable wrapping, and they want us to use the smallest in diameter spiral wrap to wrap the cables. So the smallest would be this guy. There's one that's just a bit bigger, but I'm pretty sure one will fit inside the other one. So you can tell which is the smallest one. And then there's this great big gargantuan one, which is obviously not it. So never thought I'd be doing cable management on film. Talk about boring. It's like watching somebody sand or paint.
It is.
The only one I ever enjoyed watching paint was Vanilla Bean with Sir Piggles Bean. He's never finished it.
Nope.
Might have to get on him for that.
Or finish it for him.
Well, we can make our own.
Yeah. What will we use it for, though?
It's a piggy bank.
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
I thought it was for the role playing.
No, it's a piggy bank. It's big.
So it's gonna be like a boss person. You have to beat the pig with armor.
Yeah, this is just a riveting video. I'm trying to do it as fast as I can so that you guys don't have to endure through this, but technically you should be doing this at the same time unless you're pre-watching this before you build yours. Can't imagine you'd be watching this after you build yours, but...
Hey, Mike. Because it was so good.
It's so amazing, I had to go back and watch it a second time. Alright. Almost there. Almost there. Almost there. Done. Okay. Ooh. Just like that. Okay. I do have to say that doing the cable management in the middle of it it's probably a good plan. Because with the A8, we got all the way to the end before there was any cable management, and then I just said, oh, I'll do it on my own later, and the only cable management that I did is the X cable chain. And the rest of the wires are just hanging out of it. And that's not good. Alright, so step 19 is all done. Congratulations, you just assembled the X-axis. That's an extra. That now goes into bag 9. So I've been taking any of the extra zip ties and just putting them in 9, the spare part bag, for the end. That's it. That is the X-axis. Beauty, beauty. I love that they, oh, it says don't be nervous that there isn't a belt. We'll get to that later. And then I love the fact that it says you can continue by assembling the Z-axis in the next chapter. Or you can just stop and have a completely unfunctional printer. You know, if you just wanted to have a big bunch of parts that don't do anything, you know.
This really cool facelift stuff.
Yeah, well, you know, I always wanted to have just this chunk sitting around with a motor that doesn't do anything on it, so.
Hashtag eat gummies.
Hashtag Haribo. Alright, so I think that went relatively well.
That was quick.
Thanks for sitting through that with us. Sorry about the little bit of problems that we had, but
sorry, little Billy.
well, we worked through it. Next up will be the Z-axis, which is step 4. 4. If you haven't yet subscribed and you're following this series, hit that subscribe button. Make sure you ring the little bell next to it, otherwise you don't get notifications of when we post the next video. If you like what we're doing. If you don't like what we're doing, you can give us a thumbs down, but we ask that you go ahead and also leave us a comment. Tell us what it is that you disliked, or just leave us a comment and skip the whole thumbs down thing. That's cool with us too. But we can take it. We're not thin-skinned.
This one would be really good though.
Yeah, we all like this one. But I guess that's it. Do you have anything else?
Oh, I already gave my hashtag.
You already gave your Eat Gummies hashtag?
Yeah.
So, hashtag print on. Yeah, so that's it. We'll move on to step 4. Watch for that video. Thanks for hanging out with us. And as always, print on.